Hi, welcome to another lesson. In our last lesson, we looked at how to add a product. But before we continue today, we need to make adjustments to what we have done so far. Here in our image extension, we are supposed to use the image directly here. So I will change this to image, not the extension, not the temporary directory here. And then on our form, whenever you are dealing with image, your form should take extra attributes, which will be enc type. Here, enc type is equal to multipath slash form data. Whenever you are dealing with image, your form must have this. Otherwise, you will get error while you are uploading the image. I know probably if you run from my last lesson, there may be possibility that you have seen the error. But let's continue. So from here, we check if they click on add products. We get the product name, the product price, the quantity, and then the image. We check the image and we go ahead and upload the image into a folder called images folder in our project. This is it. And then we store the name of the image inside our database. Now let us try this to see what we have. This is our products table now. We only have 3 products. So if you go to the page, reload, click on add, and then if I am adding new product, say price, quantity, then the image for the product, and I click on submit, get product added successfully, and then we come back to our page. If you check our database now, you'll see the new product we just added. This is it. So this is the name of the image because we are generating a new number, because we don't want situation whereby two people will, if we are storing the name directly, we don't want situation whereby two people will upload the same name and with different products or with this different image, so that it won't be changing the name of people's products. All right, so that is that on add products. So let us now move on to selecting all the products from the database and display it here as a table. So here is where we stopped this add product button in our code. You can check that. If you go ahead into the HTML part of it, remember we are using Bootstrap. So this is the form, this is the modal footer, and this is where the form ends. You can see our comment, form ends here. But if we look at this, this is still part of the modal. The element here, if you see, our form starts here, so and we have some divs here. So this is the button that triggers that, and then above that is where we have the container, which means the only thing we have is the last div before we have our table. So now we can now go ahead and check that. So here, this is the last div, which means our table will start here. So I'm going to comment that, say table starts here, and then we are going to have after that, say table ends here. Now I will put my mouse here and press Ctrl//. that will comment that out. Here too, control forward slash, we comment that one too out. So we cannot have our table right in between the table start and table ends. Okay, so now if we go to Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com. So I'm going to put in front of my getbootstrap, getbootstrap.com, bootstrap table, so that it will take me to table directly. Okay, see tables in Bootstrap. If I click on that, then it takes me to the documentation of Bootstrap and opens table. But there is something you look at. The version is open for me is version 4. So I may have to change my documentation back. Oh, that has taken away our this, no problem. If we go to documentation, we can always search for whatever we are looking for right here. So I will type table and then we start with overview. Then we are there. So almost the same thing. So now here, this is a table. This is a table, and this is the code down here. You can just grab that. We have other types of table, but I will prefer the first one. Even we are going to add some other things. You can see if you want to add stripe rows, you just put this as a class there. If you want to have a stripe column, you just put this as a stripe as a class and other. So let me go ahead and grab the first one, which is the first table. This one here. So I'll just copy this clipboard, then go into my code, paste that. Now, you know, table, we have table head starts and ends here. Then table body, that's where we have the table row. So now if we go to our page, let's see if we have the table. Submitting. Click inside here. Yeah, we have the table. So this is what we are going to adjust to fit into whatever we want to do. So how do we go about that? Come here. The first thing I will do is inside this T body, I will remove all the TR and leave only one. I'll leave the first TR only. At least we need one to adjust. Then right here we have the serial number. That one is correct. We can just probably change it to S/N serial number. Now what do we have? Product name here. Product. We are not going to be displaying the product ID because it's not going to be consistent. We are going to be generating number by ourselves, serial number here. Product name, price. What else do we have inside database? Products. We have product name, we have price. Quantity and image. Well, if we like, we display the image. If we like, we don't display. Quantity. And if we like, we might not display quantity as well. We can just have maybe product name and product price if we don't want people to see the quantity. So let's leave it like that for now. Then here, after we display, let me show that. Okay, so we have serial number, product name, product price, quantity. After we have this, we are going to have two buttons here, edit and delete. So we will come here and create another th. Let me just copy one of them, th, and then, well, let's have the image as well. Image. Then we have actions. Okay, actions. Now how do we now go about it? For every product, we'll display this information as a row. Taking for instance, look at what I have now. You can see I have the serial number, this, and this is for a product. So we're going to be iterating that until we select every product from the database. So product 1 will take the first row, product 2 will take the second row, on and on like that. So we are going to use for loop. Remember at the beginning of this class we use for loop to iterate list of items. So we are going to do the same thing right here. So therefore I'm going to start a PHP. Remember we have already connected to the database in the course of adding products up here. Connected to the database, and that gives us access to DB objects. So we can now go ahead here and move on with what we are doing right here. So I'm going to start PHP again inside this place. PHP, yeah, I'll start it. Then inside that we are going to create a variable. SQL is equal to, what will the variable do? The variable will just go on into the database, select star, that is select all from products. Our table is products. If you look at it, our table is products. We did not pluralize it. So select all from products, and that's all. After that, the next thing is for us to now see results is equal to db execute query function and pass our SQL into that. This will store the result. This will execute our select statement. This will execute it and store the result inside this result. So we can now come here and say for each result as row. This is a new variable we are creating, row. For each, that is for each product as row. Then we open this bracket, but we won't close the bracket here. We are supposed to iterate this based on the number of products that we have. So here, our PHP that we open here, we can close it right here. Close it right here. So now, if we do this, let's look at what we are going to get. If we go on into our table now and press enter, we have error. This in line 109. Let's check that. Line 109. Okay. Do we have any unterminated? Yes. We open this bracket here and we will not stop the bracket. So the error may not usually be at that line, but it's just where the PHP stops running. So we still have that error. Let me see. Let's start for products. Result. Each result as row. Okay. Then. Oh yes. We have to do something inside here, but we are not doing anything. That is why it is complaining of that. We should have probably say okay. Probably say echo, and then we open this bracket here. We won't close it here. We close the bracket at the end of everything here, and then probably if we have anywhere in HTML that we are using that double quote again, you might have to change it to single quotes or not using any quote at all. That will work in HTML. Let's see what we have now. Okay, say passing error, expect unexpected this is expecting comma and all that. What could be the problem is we did not terminate our echo here. So let's see. That's how we debug errors. That's it. So we get this, but this is not the actual products that we are bringing now from the database. So if we want to get the products that we are bringing from the database, we may have to use another method, or probably we do something like here we will just say inside this td, we stop the quote, we put dots row, then what will be inside the row is product name, and then remember we stop the quote here, then we put dot again, then the quote starts back. Let me do another one so that you get it right. We stop the quote, start it again, then we put dot dot, and then we say row. You know, this is like we are bringing a raw HTML codes into the PHP into the HTML. So product name, then price, the column names from the database. That's what we are doing. The database, these column names, product name, price, quantity, and image. That's what we are doing. So if we go ahead now, say this is price, and here we do the same thing. Say quote quotes dot dot, then row, quantity. Okay, so that's it. Now let's check what we have now to see if we are getting products or not. Yeah, we get it. These are the products: egg, bread, the honey product, the price, the quantity for all. So we have not bringing image for now, and then the actions are not ready. Then this serial number, let's look at how to fix that at first. How do we fix the serial number? Now what we're going to do is we are iterating through the number of products. So therefore we are going to start a counter. I will call it number, no. It is equal to 1. Let's start it like that, and then at this point where we iterate inside this for loop, at the end of this, when we display the first one, then we'll say number plus equal to 1. At least we add 1 to number. Let's terminate so that we'll be getting error. So here, that is what we are going to bring out. Here I will do quote dot dot, then I'll bring in my number. Okay, so once we do this, if we set, then we get the numbers. So the same way we get our image and everything. So I'm going to stop here. In our next class, we begin the remaining part of the lesson.